Hello world and all who inhabit it. My name is Stevie. Welcome back to my channel. I want to apologize really quickly for not uploading last week. I tried so many times to film, but my cat was being an uber dick, so it just didn't happen. Anywho, today I want to share a story with you guys because I feel like you guys probably don't know as much about me as I would like, so why not take a stroll down memory lane. Now, this is a pretty crazy story, honestly. My own fiance straight up told me that he wouldn't have believed it had he not seen my crutches from this experience and everyone remembering this the one Christmas. So had he not known that and how clumsy I am and the fact that I pretty much repeated the same thing 20 years later, literally 20 years later, 20 years and 1 month later actually, to be exact, he wouldn't have believed me. So I understand that, and I'm going to throw that out there for you guys because I know this might seem pretty freaking crazy and unrealistic, but I promise you, this really happened. And if you watching right now happen to be someone that went to school with me and remembers this, or your family friend, whatever it is, let me know if you remember this and what you thought of it down below. Anywho, this takes place when I was in first grade. I was 6 years old, and it was right around Christmas time. And the characters in the story are me, of course, me as the youngest, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my brother. I should have started with them and then me last, but I'm the star in this. No, I'm kidding. And we were getting ready to go be in a Christmas parade because it was something that had to do with my dad's work. I don't really know why, but I think it's because of what my dad's job was, which I'm not going to go into detail, but basically all of my dad and all of his co-workers and their families got to ride in this big blue dump truck and throw candy out because it was something relevant to their work. So I was ready, and I was in the kitchen. My brother was ready. He was in the living room, and my sister was getting ready in the bathroom with the door shut. I don't remember where Mom was, but I know she was home, which I'll get into in a little bit. And my dad was in the basement trying to get the wood stove choked down and stuff, just getting it prepped for us to leave, go out, and not be here for a few hours to tend to it. And I wanted a cup of hot cocoa. Instead of deciding to be patient, be a good little girl, and wait, I would do it myself. So I filled up a little coffee cup completely full of water, and I put it in the microwave, and I yelled at my sister, and I say, how long do I microwave hot cocoa water for? Or something. How long do I microwave water for hot cocoa for? I don't know. Something to that effect, but asking her, how long do I microwave this water? Because it's going for hot cocoa. My sister yells back because there's easily probably 25 feet between us, and she's in an echoey bathroom, and I'm in a completely different room. I'm 2 rooms away from her. She yells back for a minute. I hear 4 minutes, plural, and that's what I did. I microwaved that water for 4 minutes. Obviously, it boiled, and it overflowed because of how much water was in the cup. And I had water that was over 350 degrees Fahrenheit in this cup after 4 minutes in the microwave. The cup itself was so hot that I had to move it with a pot holder. And like a dumbass, when I moved that cup, instead of setting it on the table, counter, anywhere else, I set it right in front of the microwave on the stand, which only had a lip this far. And I went and got a towel and started cleaning up the water in the microwave because I didn't want to get in trouble. As I'm doing that, I knock over the cup with my right elbow because I'm literally crouched down in the microwave, and I bump it onto my right foot through a sock. I don't remember feeling anything. I just remember reacting. I screamed like a banshee and froze. My mom says to this day that it sounded like I was being murdered, and whenever I remind her of this for whatever reason, she always tells me how she never wants to hear me make that sound ever again. It was so horrible. She's not home she's not home. I can't get a hold of her if I wanted to. Otherwise, I might see if she wanted to talk about this, but honestly, I don't really like making her relive that because it was bad. Anywho, she runs to the kitchen where I am, and she makes a mistake by pulling off my sock to check on what I did. honestly, she ripped off my pants and everything, my pants and socks, just because I was frozen in fear, frozen in my reaction. I don't really know. I just froze up. But I screamed, and again, I don't even remember feeling anything. And honestly, all the way to the hospital, I don't remember feeling anything. My adrenaline had kicked in so well that I couldn't feel any pain, and I promise you, burns hurt. They burn for a long time, even after the initial flame or whatever is gone. Which I know that firsthand because Homegirl did the same fucking thing to her hand 20 years later. So if you guys, I'm going to link my update video in the right hand corner. You'll see a pretty raw burn, and that's still not so bad. I ended up with a 2nd-degree burn on my hand, actually, because the day after Shadow passed, I had to get Eli off to school, and I decided to make some hot cocoa because I was like, well, chocolate's going to help at least get me through this till Eli goes to school. Then I can go back to being an emotional mess. And I was going to use milk, but we ran out of milk. And I forgot that I was using water and not milk, so I microwaved it for 3.5 minutes. Take it out of the microwave. It doesn't overflow that time, but it's still pretty high up. And I already shake because I have Graves' disease, which it's kind of like Parkinson's disease, how you shake when you have Graves' disease, especially me. And because I was grieving on top of it, I was shaking so violently that I actually went like this with my hand. I twitched or something, and the water just kind of came down. And literally everywhere the water touched is where the burn is. And you can see right there the discoloration. Even down to my wrist got burnt. So yeah, I did that twice. But once on my foot and once on my hand. The hand took way less time to heal, and I didn't even need to go to the hospital. But we go to the I gotta back up a little bit. So my mom ripped off my pants and my socks because, like I said, I froze. And when she ripped off my sock, she made a crucial mistake. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you spilt hot liquid on yourself, you may want to remove the clothes, but don't. Especially if it was boiling hot, because you're going to do exactly what my mom did. What's recommended is that you leave it on and go to the hospital where they will cut it off of you and they will take care of it. So here's the foot actually that this happened on. And as you can see, I have a mole inside of my right toe. Trust me, this is actually relevant. I've had that mole for as long as I can remember, as long as my mom can remember. I'm 27 now. Anywho, so I was wearing ankle socks, and when she ripped off my sock, the water had landed from here down. And when she pulled off the sock, 3 layers of my skin ripped off with it and ended up getting stuck around my toes, leaving my toes webbed. Could not see this mole inside of my toe. It looked like I had a duck foot, but instead of 3 toes, it was 5. And then we were off to the emergency room. We just took our car. We drove the half hour from my parents' house to the hospital. And because I was seriously burnt, I didn't have to sit in the ER. Sit in the ER waiting room. We went into a room that I can only describe as like an operating room. That's it. I've never seen a room like that in my life, except for that one time, because I've only been in the hospital for that and for giving birth to my child. That's it. So I don't have a lot of experience, but it's not a standard doctor's office. It's a really big room with a table in the middle and the special lights and stuff. And that's why I describe it as like an operating room. And they cover, and I'm still half naked at that point for the most part. Like, I'm literally in a sweatshirt and underwear, and I have my parents' orange and red 49ers blanket wrapped around my waist because the reason my mom did that was so that she could check and see anywhere that was affected. And there was just no time when she realized what happened to put actual pants on before we went, so. But the entire car ride there, I still didn't feel anything. It wasn't until they set the white towel on my foot and then poured the clear Pedialyte bottle of distilled water or whatever onto my foot, and I felt the cooling relief that I finally started feeling again. And if I could bottle up and sell this sensation, I would be a billionaire, like a multi-billionaire, because it is the most incredible sensation in the world, and I've never experienced it since. And trust me, when I say the fact that I couldn't feel anything for over 30 minutes after getting burnt so seriously, because it ended up being a 3rd-degree burn, which is the worst kind of burn. The fact that I couldn't feel anything just shows how amazing the human body really is, and adrenaline and all that stuff, because this hurt all fucking day after I did it. I didn't go to the hospital, so I didn't get to experience that cool relief. But basically, they looked at my foot, evaluated what it was, and once I felt like it was cool enough that I could do without the towel and the liquid, they put a burn cream, I'm pretty sure the burn cream was Silvadene, on my foot, wrapped it in soft gauze, and sent me home. And I had to wait for 1 week before I could go back to school after that, because I needed crutches, and because it wasn't a hard cast or anything like that, I had to keep that cast clean. One quirk I developed during all of this was I was afraid to sleep with my foot under the blanket, my right foot. I don't know why. I felt like I'd fuck it up if I slept with it under the blanket, so I left it out. Then I felt bad for my foot, so I forced the left foot that was fine to be out from under the covers with my right foot to keep it company, because this is little kid logic, and I literally remember laying on the couch thinking this as I was trying to go to sleep. And ever since then, I have not been able to sleep with my feet covered, and I'm 27 years old, so for 21 years, I've slept with my feet uncovered. I visited the hospital every single day for the first 3 weeks, and then after that, it was every other day. This whole thing took 6 weeks total to heal before I could finally be back in school without crutches or anything. My teachers had to carry me because I was so slow on my crutches. I almost got a wheelchair. If I would have needed my crutches for even a week longer, I would have ended up with a wheelchair. And the reason I had to go to the hospital so frequently was because I had to have my foot submerged in a whirlpool machine, which is exactly what it sounds. I don't know the technical name. I just know they called it that. I'm thinking they called it that because I was a little kid, and that's the best way to make it not so scary, you know? And it was really cool. I had to climb up a little set of stairs so I could sit on the thing and dip my foot down in. And after 3 weeks, they were able to finally cut off the skin, which was a really cool experience. My mom could not watch. She took me that day, and it was just her and me and the doctor. And they took a little pair of scissors that was like this long with a kind of curved tip, and literally went like this under the skin and just cut through my skin and peeled it off. I was mesmerized by this experience, and my mom couldn't believe that I was watching so intently as I was. But when it was all said and done, I asked if I could have that skin, like if there was some way they could preserve it for me so I could take it home and keep it forever. No, it wasn't like the other kind of things that you preserve, so unfortunately not. But yeah, that's the time I ended up with a 3rd-degree burn because I wanted hot cocoa. And I know this is pretty crazy, and if you don't believe me, that's okay, but it legit happened. I will say, after they finally got the skin off of my foot from when my mom removed my sock, which I don't blame her, I would have done the same thing at that time because I didn't know better either. But that's why I shared that bit with you. But even after they removed the extra skin, I did have scarring for a few years, until I was like 14. And the scarring wasn't the typical kind of scarring. It literally looked like little splashes of discoloration, like water droplets of discoloration on my foot and where the water had landed. But that was it. It wasn't really noticeable unless you knew exactly what had happened to my foot. So yeah, I will be uploading another video next week that is more like what you guys have come to expect from me. But if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why in the comments down below. If you want to follow me outside of YouTube, feel free. The links are down below. Anyone that follows me on Twitter will get a follow back from me because I am trying to grow my platform on there, and I feel like this would be a great way to interact with you guys. I also have Discord, which my Discord link was broken, and I apologize for that, but I have a permanent Discord link now down below that is not backed behind any kind of paywall. Anyways, if you haven't yet already, tap my face right here to subscribe. If you are subscribed, tap the bell so you never miss when I upload. And as always, Have a fantastic day, and until next time, peace.